Welcome to the Illuminati broadcast. My name is David Moore. I am your Messiah. What's up? All right. So, the last video got cut off, but we were talking about the Egyptians and the Jews. They used to be one people, okay? So, they leave the Garden of Eden and they start branching out, right? Across the world, Tower of Babel, Noah, and then they make it to Egypt. But they weren't separate people, they were one person. We divide them so that people can have fragmentations or segments of who they are, but they were once one people. They were all just Jews, Hebrews, and Egyptians. They were all the same person. They believed in the same thing. They had the same stories. Everything was the same. They had the same God. It was all the same. But after time, people started cutting them up and making them different. But there was a purpose for it so that they can spread out and give life to the earth, because they were like making a really big civilization in one spot, but they needed to branch out and transform other people's lives, kind of like Christian missionaries, right? Or Mormons, things like that. So that's really cool, right? That's a cool way to see it. All right. So anyways, when this is going to be Genesis and this is going to be Exodus. And so in Exodus, what happens? They want to build like a golden calf, right? So they're trying to reverse themselves. They're like, no, we want to the significance of the golden calf is here, where it is this is going to be Mercury and Taurus. And they want to go back to that time where it's like, we want to bring God out now. We want the end of the world now. That's what the golden calf represents, is the end of the world. Where now that we do have a golden calf, like in New York or something, on Wall Street or something, I don't know. I actually live on Wall Street, but in Los Angeles. Cool, right? So it's like me versus him. But that golden calf is supposed to represent the end of the world. And so they left Egypt, they're going to Jerusalem or Israel, and Moses is like, we're not there yet, y'all. Like, we still got a while to go. Like, we're almost there. Just don't give up on me. But then when they brought out the golden calf, they were just saying in a way like let's live in that utopia with God already. And it wasn't time yet. They still had a lot to work. They had to do all of this, get out of Egypt, go to where they need to be, so they could spread the message to the world, so they can encompass it, right? So that there's life in the world. And they wanted to just end it all there by just having that moment. That's why they're like, oh, don't worship false idols kind of thing. But that's not the point. It's more about that they love God so much and they knew magic really well. So they're like, well, if we build this golden calf, God will come down and he'll save us and things like that. And God does come down eventually, and he lives in the Ark of the Covenant with them. And then they create the tabernacle. But so we have Bael and agares. But even here, if we put Bael up here, like the Taurus right here, kind of does look like a cat. It has those little cat ears or little horns. And then a toad would be Venus, because Venus is seen as like the heart, right? So like you have Venus right here. They put the Ankh here, and that's where your heart is. And they used amulets to protect their hearts. So when they would go to the underworld, they'd be afraid, like, I need help, So they have a little Ankh, a little amulet, just like how you have a cross to protect you, They would have the same thing, but in different shapes. And that's a good thing. It doesn't have to be a cross, it could be anything. And besides, the Ankh is a cross, let's be real. All right, so when people say, oh no, it's not the same thing, yes, it's the same thing. Stop trying to separate it. You're just being racist, a bad person. You're just damning yourself and others, and you're spreading a false message. If we're going to be honest, that means you're a false prophet, right? Do you want to be a false prophet, a false idol? Is that what you want? Like, I don't know. Do you want to be MGK? Do you want to be Michael Jackson? Like, no, we don't. We don't want to be Epstein. All right. So, here we go. Yeah, we got Bael right here and agares. But, the thing is, actually, it's the same coin, just two different sides of it, actually. So if you were to put them together, it would be one coin, right? And heads or tails. So you can use them interchangeably, but I'm still trying to really solidify it, so it's foolproof, so nobody can just say oh, I think this or I think that. I'll just show you what it looks like on paper. Because eventually I'll put the symbols on the board, but right now I'm just doing all the painting first. But I think I'll start putting the symbols on there soon so people can see it a little bit better, because you guys need something visual to learn, just like you read the book and the Torah to learn, you know. This is one picture of it. Let me go back real quick. Here we go. Come on, here we go. Yeah, making a mess. All right, so here we go. You can see this is the midnight, so this is the Taurus, Aries, Mars. This is the north sector, but what we're working on right now is Bael and agares. So Bael would be right here, and agares would be right here, right? So you have Venus, Libra, Taurus, Venus, that spade energy, the east. Spades represent swords. So what happens in the Garden of Eden, right? They eat the apple, then God expels them from the Garden of Eden. We see it as a bad thing, like, oh, I'm punishing you, you have to leave the Garden of Eden. But we could see it as like, oh, here you go, guys, like, I'm giving you guys this flaming sword to teach you how to make fire in the wilderness and to spread your life out into the world. And they take that flaming sword and they go and they create the world, right? So you got that sword, that air energy, the spades, right? Let me go back to the little image real quick, little symbols, things I was working on. Oh, I put it next to the monkey. Let me go all the way back to the monkey. The monkey page with Edamon. He's more towards the beginning. I'll make a better Book of Shadows, don't worry. Don't worry, don't walrus. Where are you, Mr. Edamon? Mr. Edamon. Yeah, because I drew some pretty cool images for that one that help explain a little bit more about the Taurus. All right, here we go. So you can see these symbols, right? So you have Saturn, Venus, Libra, Taurus, Venus, right? So then you got the frog right here. Then you have the cat, right? Then you have these judgment scales, which is going to be agares. And he's a crocodile. And that's Saturn, which represents, you know, unity or wholeness. Like togetherness, and it means beginning and end, right? And that's why it's a cross, just like Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega. But he also explains himself as the morning star, right? The morning, the star of Venus, right? I've also been working on the idea of how the world looks. All right, so this is the world, and this is what it looks like, right, to us. And this is how we stand. But it really looks like this. And we can go west, or we can go east, or we can go south, or we can go north. But when we look straight up, like above our heads, it goes here, right? That's where the sun's rotating. And if we were to go all the way up past the sun, so if the sun's right here and we were floating up past the sun, we would land head first into the other side of the world. So like England or Israel. So we would have to land on our feet like that. We would have to flip and land. So I don't know if that makes a little bit more sense. So the sun's right here, right? And we're right here on the earth like this, and we're walking 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 and we're walking. Kind of like a wheel, like that's like this, right? But it's not just a wheel, it's an orb. So we're on the inside of an orb. Walking around the earth, right? And then when you walk up, it kind of curves up, and go down, curves down, got the center pole that holds the sun, rotating it. So, but in the inside, that's where the heavens is, right? So if we were to float up, that's the heavens, and that's where the sun's rotating. And then we would kind of fly back down here. So I guess whenever you're doing magic and you're shooting that way, you're hitting north. And if you hit up a little bit more, you would hit North Pole. But if you were to hit straight up, then you would hit like Israel. You could probably aim at Israel from just shooting straight up, right? Just things to think about to figure out how it really works, because NASA gives us an idea, but it doesn't give us the complete truth, because they don't even know this. Like, they don't even know that this is how it really works. That's why I'm the Messiah, to teach you guys. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we did that little diagram where we see the frog, If you look at Yu-Gi-Oh, Karibo, it looks like a frog, and he kind of has that Pac-Man mouth, and frogs have that Pac-Man mouth, right? Like, um, yeah, so they're always eating. But this is gonna be the serpent right here, this big border. This is the serpent, right? Because in the Ars Goetia we use the serpent. He's very important. He's powerful. He's our helper. He's our guardian angel. He's basically God in a sense. Like God has a couple forms. So I obviously have a spirit, a soul, and then etc. But let me see. And actually you can see in these diagrams how they're holding their hands up. They're giving you that idea of how like it works, that we're like really hanging. We're literally hanging from the side of the wall like this. We're hanging. So we're Spider-Man basically, right? And then this is the globe. I actually got an image edited and it shows like the world on the inside of this and it looks perfect. Like we're in the globe. We're along the walls of the globe. We're not on the outside of the globe, we're on the inside of it. All right, here we go with the serpent. You see the serpent right here? You see the triangle? This is the entrance from the east. This is the west where we worship God. And we have the serpent coiling around it, right? And that's what we have here. The serpent's coiling around it. This is the east and this is the entrance. The moon represents a door, so it's the entrance, right? That's the east. That's that triangle energy that where you come in. And then, you know, this is the tabernacle. So that when you're walking into the camp of the tabernacle, this is the entrance, right? You come in from the east. Because the sun rises, so it's going to warm up the camp. It's going to heat it up, cool it down, keep it fresh, keep things moving, keep God alive, and really amplify his energies. Because God likes to amplify. All right, so, they usually show the cat kind of fighting off the serpent. Because it's saying like God is so powerful, he can be very destructive as well. So if people are doing bad things, he's destroying them. So if you're a good person and you're like, well, I want to prove to God that I'm a good person too, and I'm on his side, but I know God's really busy, and I know that if I interfere with him in a certain sense, like that I can have this idea of a cat protecting me from this snake, protecting me from like his wrath, his anger. Because God is that Apophis. He's like, I'm gonna devour you. So this is what agares is, that thing that eats, right? So that's why I see this kind of, because even with the Libra, I drew another picture too. But I guess it interchanges, correct, right? Because it's the 1 and the 2 are the same. So Exodus and Genesis are the same, and usually they do say that. But I drew another picture. Let's see. Where I drew the cat and it looks so cute. Okay. Yeah, see, he has like the little Libra eyes, the little Venus sign, his serpent tail to show that he created the Garden of Eden and he was the snake kind of thing. But also, they mention agares, like that there's a guy riding a crocodile with the goose hawk on his fist. Well, that's God riding a crocodile, riding that serpent, and that he has an angel that goes out there and watches what you're doing. So in the Book of the Dead, that would be Thoth, that bird is his angel, right? And then he has but that would be Vasago. And who's Vasago and Samigena? Let's see who they are, so I can show you what they look like on their sigils. Okay, so we have Vasago and Samigena. In the Book of the Dead, that would be Anubis and Thoth. And so basically Anubis is like the Reaper, right? So he comes in, he's like, hey, like it's time for us to weigh your heart and your scales, like if you want to move on to the afterlife, well, you don't have a choice. Like we gotta do this. And that's why he's kind of seen as maybe let's see, if I put him as Vasago's a duke and Samigena is a marquise. So I think I put Anubis as the marquise because Anubis is more of this like moon figure, and Thoth is more of this air figure because he has, the quill. So he's writing everything down and he's like, all right, tell me your story. Oh yeah, I've heard this one before. Let's keep going. He's that scribe. He's that guy at the when you go to heaven and he's like looking at your name. He's like, are you in this book? Like, I this is my job. But also if you think about it, the moon looks like a sickle, right? Like to reap, like to harvest. So you can see that Anubis is the Grim Reaper. He's scything you. He's like, okay, it's time to cull you. It's time to, it's time to get judged. And this happens throughout our life, in moments where we get judged. And then we have to decide what's right and what's wrong and what's our next action in life. Like, do we continue to live a life without God, or do we choose to live a life with the Messiah, like your king right here, me, King David? Like, do you choose to follow me, or do you choose to rebuke me, like refuse to admit that I'm your Messiah, your God? So there's that struggle, right? And Anubis is right there like, oh, so he's God, but you don't want to admit it, or you really don't believe that he's God. So I guess we just got to send you to hell, because that's the Pharaoh. King David is the Pharaoh. I'm the Pharaoh. So if I'm the Pharaoh and you are in my kingdom and you curse me, and cursing me is just by refusing to believe what I say, because I'm the direct connection to God. So God lives through me. I'm his temple, and he is my soul. So we are the same thing. There's no separation of us. I can decide what happens up there, and I can decide what happens down here, because that's my body, right? That's my spirit. It's not his, it's mine. We don't share it. I own it. This body owns it. It's not separated. So if I was to die, the world would end, right? Like, it'll just cease to exist. But I think that since I'm so powerful, that I could just like hold on to a piece of it and be like, no, I'll make it better my way, but I won't keep the rest of you in it. But I'll make sure you suffer in hell, right? So that's why you have that serpent to protect you. So you can see that as like, that's your combination, right? But yeah, if we're seeing this kind of in a certain way, we're facing east. But if we were along the walls holding like this, right? I guess we would be along this wall standing like this. But I guess on the map too, it could look something like this. I don't know, I'm still working on it. Some different details, how I want to like explain it. But yeah, so you have the serpent on your head, right? And that's the sun. That's why it's like kind of connected. The sun is actually like that way, so it kind of connects that way, right? But if you look straight up, whatever, it's always on your head, but it's like connected to the sun. So you have Thoth over here. This would be Thoth and Anubis on these four right here, because this is Aquarius, this is Gemini, and then these two are blank, but this is Aleph, and this is the spade. So that lets you know that this spirit is like completely air. But you have Samigena, which is 2, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Vasago and Samigena. So Vasago's job is Thoth, right? So he's writing everything down. That's why you have Aleph right here, which is the Hebrew word for silence. And then you have, or the letter. And then you have Samigena, which is going to be Anubis, right? The Grim Reaper. And that's Aquarius. Actually, this one's blank, but this one's Aquarius. So you have this like heart, and the heart is represented by the moon and Jupiter. So moon and Jupiter, so silver and blue right here. You got Jupiter and silver. So you got Jupiter and the moon, and this is the water domain, and it's represented by cups and hearts. So that lets you know that this Aquarius figure, but Aquarius is over here on the traditional zodiac. So this is the ancient zodiac. The first ring is the ancient zodiac, and then it goes into the traditional zodiac. And then on the traditional one, which we have is modern, right? Aquarius is right here, and I think that's Jupiter. Yeah, Aquarius and Jupiter right here, because this is going to be Capricorn and Saturn. But that lets you know Zeus had got his boy, right? He got the servant, and there's a lot of servants and cupbearers in Egyptian mythology as well. It's just, that's how the world works. Like, we're Jewish and we're Egyptian. Everybody is. But there's only one king, right? Me, I'm the pharaoh. So if you were somebody that would be like, no, you're not the pharaoh, then your heart will get marked. And then Thoth tallies it, because he remembers everything and he sees everything. He's the one who heals Horus's eye. So like if I'm like, oh, I don't want to see the truth anymore, and I cover it, and then Toph will come back and he'll open it again, and he'll be like, no, we got work to do. He keeps me in check, right? So he's like, all right, the humans are disrespectful and they don't want to admit that you're their king, that you're the pharaoh. So we have to mark it, and we have to tally them. And don't worry, I'll use this feather as a sword to damage them, and then I'll give them enough damage to the point where Samigena, the Reaper Anubis, can go in and do the job, finish the job for you, and harvest them and bring them to court so we can judge them. And if they're unworthy, they get devoured by Amet, your serpent, your crocodile, your creature, your dragon, your devil. So I'm the god, and that's my devil right there, right? And that can be kind of seen in Genesis, right? So God comes out first with this like devil energy, because that's when you get introduced to the serpent, right? The serpent is God, because serpents represent angels in the old ancient texts. So that's why they're like, that's Lucifer, right? But Lucifer is God, because at first they couldn't see God, right? They just knew he existed. And God was like, well, I need a form, right? So he came in the form of Adam, and then he came in the form of Eve. And then he was like, well, I need to give these bodies free will and a chance to move around and to like exist. So, and to reproduce without my interference, but I can help from the sidelines, but I can still be inside of them and help them and answer their prayers, but I need them to be autonomous. So he gave them that life. So he was the serpent, and he was like, okay, I'll give you this knowledge on how to survive in the wild without me, so you can call upon me when you need me, when your heart needs me, right? And they go and they reproduce in the world. But then you have the Amet, the serpent, agares. He's a duke. Dukes are leaders of armies. So they're out there like, yeah, let's go to war. I'm your captain. What do you want us to destroy? Tell us what you want and we'll go do it. And then the earls down here are the soldiers. So he's like, come on, soldiers, let's go destroy. So then you'll have this captain or several captains, and then you'll have a ton of soldiers, and then those soldiers will have generals, and then they'll go out and branch out to the marquises, and then they branch out to the princes and the presidents, and these are probably like the Commonwealth, or just like really like nobility or royalty kind of people, and all the way down to the villagers, right? So this is like the kingdom, the castle. And then they go out, they go do what they need to do, they come back, and then they rest. Make sense? You send your army out, they go and they come back. They bring you back your wealth. Even when it comes to like harvesting like wheat and flour and food. That's why the calf is so like important to us, because it provides us food, nutrition, like meat. And it also provides us dung, which the cow manure, it's actually raining. So I think today is February 15th, 16th, I think, 16th. So let's see, February 16th, right? So February is Aquarius, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So yesterday, the 15th, it did rain, and that's water in the moon. And today is the sun, but it's gonna keep raining, obviously. But that's cool how you can interpret like what the seasons are like just using this map, and why the rain is coming on this day specifically. So that's interesting, but also that lets us know that there's a door that's opening to us, and it's a door to a kingdom, and it's gonna fuel it so that when this month passes and the next month comes, we're gonna get all this information and all this these rewards for our work this month. Let's go back to the chart real quick. So yeah, you could see like God riding that serpent, right? He's like, I'm gonna create the world, I'm gonna use this serpent, this power, this energy to, this Leviathan. And it mentions that the Leviathan is God's favorite creature. That's interesting, right? God chose the snake, his serpent, as his favorite creature, his crocodile, to conquer the earth, right? And they also have stories about hippos in pharaohs, like the south and the north of Egypt, that they would battle with their hippos. And they love their hippos very much. And then so when you see Amet, he's half crocodile, half hippo. And the Nile River is very important. It was like their substance. That was their Garden of Eden, basically, that their river. And we also have that in the Los Angeles mountains in Little Rock, Big Rock Creek. it snows, it rains, and it creates this pool, and this pool provides so much water for all of Los Angeles County that they spread it out all over the world. And it even goes into this one pool that goes all the way to Israel, all the way to Greece, and it comes out of this cave called Pan's Cave. So there's this connection. Let's see. Yeah, so if they were here in Exodus and they were like, the golden calf, the golden calf, they wanted to fast forward all of this and go to the end of the world, because this is the end of the world. This is where we are at right now. So right now we're at Mercury, Taurus, Aries, Mars, and this is the north direction. This is the final. This is 72. This is the demon Andromalius, and 71 would be Dantalion. So he's holding a book. He sees the whole world. He knows their actions, and he sends out the devil to go and reap and harvest the humans. That's God saying it's the end game, y'all. But yeah, so you can see that there's this huge connection and a way to interpret with a fundamental. So there's a structure to it. So it's not just some random hoobly doobly. And this is obviously the north, so you're hitting the North Pole. But the thing with the story is that the water comes down to the South Pole, and the sun heats it up to bring it back up, all the way back to the North Pole, condensate, turn into like ice, and then melt back down to the earth. So it has this cycle of returning this water back down the poles, right? But the sun is so hot that it brings clouds. Whoa, now we're getting this better, right? So if you're a scientist and you didn't know these kinds of things, you should probably read this, because actually the spirits do teach you it. They will teach you. They say, how does the water hold up? How did God create the heavens and the earth? They will teach you. And the thing is, they don't teach you like they're physically there. They are physically there, but at the same time, they're not like, how do I put this? I think we think of them as like, oh, that they're like there where you can touch them and feel them and they can hurt you. Yeah, they can, but it's in a different way, where they give you resources and knowledge and thoughts, and not bad thoughts. They give you good thoughts. They give you good things to think about. They help you. They're your guardian angels. But when we demonize them, we're controlling the humans to live this repetitive, hurtful cycle so that they could keep worshiping man instead of God. And now we're at a point where it's like, nope, you got to worship King David, me. I'm King David. I'm the Pharaoh. So you have to worship me. But now that you know this truth, and the world knows this truth, because like if I post this video, it's out there, right? And it doesn't matter if one person watches it or no one watches it. The internet's gonna watch it. YouTube's gonna watch it. The AI bots are gonna watch it. The spirits are watching this moment right now. It's gonna make a huge ripple, a wave that's gonna carry on to the world. Let's just talk about this real quick, okay? So Venus, Taurus, Libra, Venus. So this lets you know that there's a bull, right, Bael, which is a boy cow, and then you have a girl cow right here, and that's how they start off the world. So Hathor is seen as a calf. So that lets you know, like, you know, you got Adam and Eve. It's an important thing. That's just God's way of creating the sun and the moon. It's just, that's beautiful, right? I don't know, that's cool. Like me, I'm two-spirited. That's what the Pharaoh is. He has two spirits. He's both man and woman. He's androgynous. He can choose between either one. That's why he mates with Set. And that's what God did. He mated with himself to create us, right? So this is how the world works. And if you don't like it, too bad. Because now we have to learn the truth. We have to learn the hard way, because you guys didn't want to do it the easy way, which would have been to worship me. But instead, you guys choose to defy me. So if you choose to defy me, then this might look easy, right, for me to explain it to you now, but this is a very powerful curse and a powerful spell that will destroy you, and it will humiliate you, and you will suffer for all eternity, and you will never be able to let it down. Like, I think there was this guy who ran over somebody. I think his name's Clavicle or something, because he has a jawline. Like, anyways, he ran over like a stalker or like a fan. And I'm just like, and he didn't care. And I'm like, okay. That lets me know that he's definitely going to hell, because he's a false idol. And he thinks he can get away with bad things and nothing bad's going to happen to him. He's going to live that life. And the good thing is, though, what will tell me is that his fans that are following him lets me know that they're false idols and they're false worshipers, they're false prophets, so that they're worshiping a false idol. So that's letting me know that they're all in the same basket, right? So they're all parasites, they're all infections. So when I curse them, when Toth goes out there, he's like, see this group of people? It's already on the internet. What more proof do you need? And Anubis is like, all right. He goes out with his sickle, finishes the job. They come back to the kingdom. They bring their spirits, and me and Amet are sitting there like, okay. But let's also remember, Bael is gonna be Amet as well, like agares. So they're both the same thing, but there's a separation in a sense as well. But we'll kind of talk more about that and figure things out, because I've still got this form. I don't have to eat your heart. I just have, my spirit to do it for me, and to hurt you. But yeah, Baal worship, right? So you're worshiping God regardless. And that's me. I'm the Pharaoh. I'm the Messiah. I'm Jesus Christ. What's up? The Jewish Messiah too, right? Yeah. Because I'm King David, right? My name's David. Literally, I was born David Jr. So I'm the root of David. Because my dad's name is David, right? So I'm Solomon. I'm their King David, their Messiah, right? I'm their living temple. I'm the one that they have to worship and make sacrifices to. They have to sacrifice their belief that I'm not God and believe that I am God and admit it and just live in it. And that's when people are like, well, that's what the Antichrist would do, right? And I'm like, well, yep, duh, that's my job too. I have to be both. What do you expect? You think I'm gonna let you dictate what I want? I'm the king. I choose the rules, not you. But I'm gonna teach you guys though, right?